Skal starte på TV. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another rum-fueled and unauthorized treasure hunt around the Jamstack Islands. I'm not usually the one that does the intro because Captain Ola does them, but Captain Ola is at a parent meeting at the Pirate Princess school. So the Pirate Princess is my guest and helper today. And today's tiny task, which is, or I wouldn't say really is a tiny task, is that we are going to do a MacBook Air unboxing, and then we're going to try to set it up as a dev machine and check out something from GitHub and then hopefully get everything going. So that's today's big task, I guess. Not such a big way. Are you sure you want to say bye? Lillian, vil du gi meg å være med å åpne MacBook?
No.
Yes. Now,
Det var tung.
let's do some
Jeg vil åpne.
unboxing.
Jeg vil åpne.
Okay, Lillian. Okay, we'll do it like this. It's better on stream. Okay. It's solid. It is solid. That's for sure.
Veldig solid, ja.
Boom, boom. My first ever unboxing video, everyone. Ta-da!
Den boksen vil jeg, mamma. Den bra boks.
She says she wants the box because the box is so cool.
Den var tjukk.
Okay.
Veldig
She says it's very thick, but it's not really, is it? Because we're going to unbox some more. Okay, vis den fram. Kom nærmere meg.
Mamma bytta ut hodet sitt.
This is how it looks.
Hva denne?
Oh.
Boom,
boom, boom.
Jeg bare dro I alle pilene på
Okay, so it comes in the nice Mac, typical Mac box. Taking off the plastic. She wants the other box as well. So this is the MacBook Air. Okay, throw it away. That's the wood. Okay, so do you want to lift the lid? Ta lokket. Yes.
Det for boksen?
Mm-hmm.
Det var veldig fin boks.
So this is the kind of pumped up MacBook Air. So I got the MacBook Air and then I chose kind of the biggest thing you could get for the biggest things you could get for everyone. So it's got a 2 terabyte hard drive, and then I think a solid state hard drive, and then it had like 64 gigabytes of RAM.
Vi må helle den ut.
Okay.
Hva for noe dette?
Okay.
Dette.
All right.
Dette. Jeg sikkert en bruk.
She's asking what it is.
Jeg vil kjøpe den.
Okay.
Vekk med den. Vekk med den.
Look at that. That is the MacBook Air Starlight.
Oi, det speil, mamma. Det har du ikke på den.
Yeah.
Den
And
lyser jo for at den legger.
boom, boom, boom.
Den lyser.
Ta-da! So did we touch Lillian? Stop. I don't know if we touched anything, but this is what I'm getting. So it's already wanting to set up. So I think we probably set something off when we took off the plastic and everything.
Den, mamma?
And then I also have one of the MacBook Pros
Hva det?
M2 Max around. So we're going to compare a little bit the two. So Lillian, kan du gå og hente sekken din I gangen?
Hvorfor det?
Fordi. Okay. So let's try and see what we're going to do. Oh my God, it's so light. I mean, this is the lightest Mac I think I've ever had. Okay, so let's get on with it because we're not, we haven't been able to, we can't really screen share on this yet. As soon as we get a little bit of a browser going, I'm gonna jump in and try to do some screen sharing directly from this one. So I usually do English, even though I'm Norwegian. And then I'm gonna ask Lillian something. Ja, Lillian?
Jeg fant den ikke.
Bare ta den grå sekken. Okay, so we want to select country. Yes, Norway. Preferred languages, English, Norway, Norwegian bokmål, which is my native language. Yes. Input source is Norwegian. So I always have a Norwegian keyboard because that's what I learned to type on. And even if for programming, I think an English keyboard would have been better. But having a Norwegian keyboard is just what I'm used to. And, you know, changing my habits will be way too expensive and, you know, time consuming. So let's continue. And then I don't think I need any accessibility things right off the bat, at least. And then we want to set up the Wi-Fi. And I'll do that. And Lillian can show you the M2 Max, which I haven't paid for. It's on loan from a client, but we can use it to do some comparison. So I'm going to set up the Wi-Fi on this one. And to do so, I need to check the Wi-Fi on my computer to, because who remembers the Wi-Fi? Vi skal sammenligne det etterpå, Lille. Så bare vent litt. Nå kan du ta og holde på litt, så ber jeg deg om å komme tilbake. So much stuff here now. Okay, so I have to go into then my keychain on my regular machine so that I can figure out what the Wi-Fi password is for our Wi-Fi, because I haven't needed to, you know, put that in for a really long time. Now I'm like on the wrong keyboard, so let's do this keyboard. So I need to do keychain. I'm not going to show you that, of course, but that's what I'm doing. And then I'm searching for our Wi-Fi. And then if you double click on the Wi-Fi and then do show password and write in your computer password, that's like a good way to find your passwords. If you've forgotten them, they will be saved in there. So that's cool. Even if you just have guests coming over, that's a good way to do it. We really could have needed to be two on this stream because there's going to be some really boring parts where I just do things on this computer. But hopefully we get the Safari set up right away so I can start screen sharing from the new computer. And while we do that, I can show you. So this is the 14-inch MacBook Pro M2 Max. And even though you can't feel that, I can feel that. This is much, much heavier than the MacBook Air. They have kind of the similar vibe to them now. They're more, the MacBook Air used to be, I think, a little like softer, but the MacBook Air has gotten kind of this shape. So the same shape as the MacBook Pro version. So they're not that different in kind of their shapes. They come in different colors. And then also this one is thicker. Well, I'll compare them afterwards. This one is thicker and a lot heavier. A lot heavier, actually. I was like, so, because I've been using this at a client that I'm working for, and I've been using this, and it's so small and so light compared, you know, to my old computer, but it's much, much heavier than this MacBook Air that I'm setting up right now. So it's now saying data and privacy. And, you know, I'm pretty concerned with privacy, but who actually reads these things? So we're just going to do continue. And then migration assistant. I'm just going to do not now. I'll probably do that later, but for this stream, we're just going to set up the dev environment as if it's a new one. And then I'll need to log in with my Apple ID. Well, I can set that up later as well, I think. So let's set that up later. Yes, let's skip that. And then we'll agree and agree. And then we'll create my account, which is then, I usually do Raae. That would be my full name. And then I usually do just Raae because I have such a short last name. So I use that. If I can, I always use that as my, you know, usernames everywhere that you might know, because if you know me from Twitter, my username is simply RAAE because I've been on the platform for 15 years now. Okay, so let's go back to this setup. We're going to do a password. I'm just going to do a super simple one for now. The regular old password. And then I'll probably set this up again with transferring files and everything from my old computer. But we don't want to do that on stream and actually like watch everything being set up, do we? So this is how it looks. Create a computer account. And it's taking a while. It's actually taking a while. Oh, and then I don't really want to enable location services, but I've seen like we need that. If you enable location services, you will get better clock support. Like it will know where you are in the world and configure your clock accordingly. So I think that's handy. And then I end up having to, oh, now they have this new screen time. So it asks me to set up screen time. That's interesting. So it says that I will get weekly reports, view daily and weekly charts, and get insights about screen time. Schedule time away from the screen and set daily time limits for apps or app categories, and then content and private restrictions and screen time passcode. Oh, I can manage screen time for children from your Mac OS. Oh, interesting. So this I'll have to, look into. Mostly for myself. Lillian doesn't really get screen time, but for myself, maybe I need to limit my screen time a little bit. I don't know. Okay, there's a comment. Oh yeah. So my current computer, yes. So the current computer that I'm streaming from now, that's a MacBook Pro from mid 2015. I got it in 2016, but the model is the mid 2015, so that because I didn't want that touch bar, so I got one of the older ones that had more ports and not the touch bar. And then this one is a computer I have on loan from a client, which is the newest MacBook Pro M2 Max. So it's going to be, so we can do a little bit of comparison. And then the new one that I've gotten here is the MacBook Air Starlight with everything maxed out. So, so that was Anna. Hey, nice to see you on the stream. Woo, I love your picture. And yes, hate the touch bar. I just skipped that whole generation. So I got mine in 2015, or I got mine in 2016, but I got the old version. And then I just skipped the whole touch bar. I skipped the bad keywords. And then for a year now, I've really needed a new computer, but I just haven't had the energy and space and time to do anything about it. And then I was holding out for the M2 MacBook Pros because I always get the MacBook Pro. But then I realized maybe I just need a MacBook Air all maxed out. So that's where, boom. And all work is sold with new tech. Hopefully these new Macs are as solid as my last one, because it's pretty old and it's done me really, really well. So then he wants me to enable Siri. I don't like these devices listening in on us all the time for our clues. They probably do anyway, but I usually turn off all kind of voice enablement or voice things. And then so what I've come to learn to love with the computer that I have at work or at the client, it's this touch thing. And I wasn't sure after getting the MacBook Pro from the client if my new MacBook Air would have this touch lock. And it does. And it's one of those small things where you think oh, it doesn't really matter. But it's such a difference, especially in the work environment, if you're in a space with other people in a co-working space, or what I'm now at an office, and you need to lock and unlock your computer every time you leave your computer. It's so nice. You just touch there and it reads your fingerprint. So now it's going to learn my fingerprint. So let's do that. And you if you have an iPhone, it's kind of like that. You just touch around until kind of all of your finger is, everything is red. So it's red all of your finger. And then let's do continue. And I'm one of those weird people that still do light. I've never gotten into the dark side of development. So I'll just continue for light. And look at that. Boom. We're up and running. And Anna says that she's currently debating between the Air and the Pro. So if you give me a couple of weeks, hit me up on Twitter in the DMs or publicly and ask me, because then I've had weeks with both working with my own project on a MacBook Air and then working on the client project with the MacBook Pro. So let's compare the two before I'm gonna start streaming from this one as well, so we can see how we'll set up a new computer for development. But we can do some comparison. So let's see. Let's just put them on top of each other. So as you can see, the MacBook Air is quite a bit smaller. So it looks like it also has like a smaller screen. So I don't remember the inches correctly, but it's this, it's the 14-inch version in both of them. But I think one of them is like 14-inch 0.6, I guess the larger one. So yeah, let's see. What am I? Oh, they were not the same way. So there you go. So that's the MacBook Pro underneath, and then it's the MacBook Pro M2 Max underneath, and then it's the MacBook Air on top. As you can see, it's quite a bit more narrow or thinner, and the weight is very different. Like this is super light. This, now compared, it's quite heavy. It's quite heavy. So let's just keep on going, and then I guess do we need other sides? No. So this is how they do. Like I have a hard time holding the MacBook Pro with one hand, but I don't have any problem holding the MacBook Air with one hand. So now we're going to look into how we'll set up a new computer. And I'll start by then opening any kind of browser on the MacBook Air here. So I'll open the Safari, and then we'll see if we can get some streaming going from there as well. So I'll need to go and invite myself into this stream. We might get a little bit of an echo, but we'll see how we go. StreamYard. And then there's I'm just going to voice this out because then you can join well, it would have been nice to have somebody join the stream. Let's see if I managed to do that correctly. And if I'm actually popping up over here in the other one. Oh, my camera is not having a good time with this, trying to focus when I'm doing. There we go. And if you have any more questions about the two, now that I have both of them up, I can hold them up and answer any immediate questions. So actually Safari doesn't support streaming on StreamYard. So I guess the first thing we want to do is just download Chrome. And what's the best way to download Chrome so that I can stream the rest of this? Let's see. I think I can just Google Chrome, right? And then we'll get into the Chrome. Didn't even think about that. So Safari doesn't support like HTML5 streaming, I guess, or not the HTML5 web technology for streaming. So I'm just going to download Google, download Chrome. I'm downloading it. And then I have to get my mic out of the way. And then we'll open it. And let's see. So I've downloaded it and it's in my downloads, and per usual with Mac, I've downloaded the Chrome, and then you move the Chrome over to the app folder, and that's how it's installed. I remember being amazed by that the first time I installed in this manner for Mac. It was like, whoa, can it be this easy? You young people out there do not know how easy you have it. Okay. So then I'm going to open Chrome, and let's see if we can stream from Chrome on this new machine. Okay, so StreamYard. I'm going to invite myself to StreamYard again. And let's do that. And we're going to do invite on StreamYard. So the really good thing about StreamYard is that if somebody wants to join you, they don't have to log in or anything. You can just give them a URL and they can jump straight into the stream as long as they have that URL. And then they kind of pop up in a little like green room, and then you can share. Okay, so let's see. Allow microphone and camera access. Okay. Not that I'm going to use that now. We're going to stop. We're at least going to mute it so we don't hear me twice. And then we're going to give this then new MacBook Air. MacBook Air. Enter studio. Oh. There we go. Now I can't hear myself and you can't hear me in echo. Wow, this is kind of a fun. This is a little bit of a fun angle for everyone. You can see me. It's me times 2, everyone. So on this one, then I'm going to do present and let's do share screen. And we're going to share everyone. We're going to share the whole thing. So yes, Chrome is going to be allowed to. Oh, we got to quit Chrome because we're now allowing Chrome to record our screen from this for this StreamYard thing. So we're going to open StreamYard again. And hopefully we're going to get this to work. I can't like see on my screen. So this is a little, okay, there we go. Entering the studio again. I'm going to add me to the studio. And then we need to mute my Mac. So you don't, let's go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, why are you not in my headphones anymore? We're getting some, it's not easy having all of this happening at once. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute myself too. Okay, hopefully we're better. Yes. Okay. So I don't know what was up. I don't really need these because I'm not even listening to myself, but I managed to make it happen. Look at me in like dual screen here. Okay. So now we're going to present. We're going to share screen. We're going to share the whole screen. There we go. And then let's see if we can remove, but we're going to add. There we go. So now we've added this. We're added a new MacBook Air screen. Oh, it's sharing a window. Well, we don't want to share window, so we want to do the whole thing. So this is not even me trying to, share screen. Entire screen is what we want to do. Okay, there we go. And then I'll put this down and we'll add to screen. And then we're going to hide this. Okay, so now we are in our new MacBook Air and we're going to set it up for development. First off, I'm going to head on over to Twitter and just let somebody know that we are doing this right now. So I'm going to share a little bit of style. I'm going to say that our unboxing done. And then now setting up dev environment following this article. if somebody wants to retweet that, go ahead and do it. So the article that we're gonna follow, let's see if I can get it up on this screen, because that's also kind of why I wanted to share it, because then I can go to twitter.com/Raae, hopefully without logging in, and see, accept all cookies, I guess, and then see my latest tweet with a link to that article. So here the article we want to follow. So I really, really liked Cecilia's article because she had written it up so that we could, and she also has a walkthrough that is probably a little bit faster than mine. But she had these little like validation steps. So I really like that you ask, she tells you what to install and then there's a validation step. So I really like that. So the first thing that I always forget is I'm not going to do iTerm 2, so I'm going to skip that. But the Xcode command line tools is something I always kind of forget to add, or when I'm setting up environments, it's so long. I'm like, oh, we need this. So that's the first thing we're gonna do, and we're gonna just click on her link here and then follow that. Oh, the mouse. I need to set up something for the mouse here to actually click when I'm touching. System settings. And where's the trackpad? Trackpad. And I needed to tap to click because that's what I'm used to. Okay, now we're good. And then I also needed to scroll the other way around. Has Apple like moved that around again? Because it's I keep like getting it to scroll the wrong way around. So I don't want natural scrolling, I guess. Okay, there we are. So I want to do then Xcode. Is Xcode already installed? Let's check that. And it's probably not. So I'm just going to open the regular terminal. Nope. So then we need to do it with Homebrew or the tools directly. So let's do it with Homebrew. But in that case, I guess we should install Homebrew first. But we're doing that as part of this step, I guess. Oh no, so here is her 7 Homebrew. But we could also just follow these steps. Click for Homebrew. Brew install. So let's do all of this. So Homebrew is a way to install other packages and other programs on Mac without having to kind of download them. Kind of like NPM, but for your machine. So instead of having to download things, you can kind of do Brew. I think it's Brew Casket. So it's all like based around brewery. So you have like caskets and like all of the terminology uses kind of brewery type of commands. So it looks like downloading command line tools for Xcode. The Homebrew install license script will ask you to enter your Mac password, yes. And then it's the option to install Xcode command line tools. And yes, we do want to do that. And then we're supposed to see some other things here. It's still downloading. My poor internet is probably, it's probably in overdrive right now because it's trying to download and stream on all the machines. All the machines are going at once here. But I mean, look at this. It's so lovely. I mean, and it's so light. And it's just like, I like it. This is funny while we're just waiting, since I now have myself in like dual, you can see me. I can you can see my crazy house. So this is how it looks like off stream, everyone. This is off stream. Okay, now it's installing. I just did an enter in case it needed an enter. But yeah, kind of fun having myself in two. I don't know if this is the best angle to stream, but we take what we get. What angle do you want? I'm going to remove this angle. Okay. Okay. It's downloading and it's doing a lot of stuff. Okay, we're good. And this is where I like these steps, or the validation steps that she had. So if you want to check if Homebrew is installed, then we can do this check. Oh, it looks like it's not installed. So let's go back here and see if there's something else. Yes, we need to add the Homebrew shell configuration. So let's do that. So that is to tell our terminal where to find the brew stuff. And let's see if it's actually there. We'll do the eval. Or not. See, these things I'm not so good at. I just follow instructions. And then verify brew doctor. Yes. So we have brew ready to go. And then we can go back here and we can go back to the top and we can see if we have our X line, the Xcode installed, because I think it said that brew would install the Xcode command line tools. Yes, it looks like it exists. So that's good. So now we want to have Git installed and we don't have Git. So let's check that. Oh, there is. So Git is obviously installed with Apple out of the box. I didn't know that. That's kind of new, I think. Okay. And then I don't know how you say this. It's like a zish or something. It's the default. So I'm just going to go with that as the default. And then we want to install NVM. So navigate between versions and avoid permission issues with installing Node directly on Mac. So this is super important. Like a lot of people, when they set up their new dev environment and they want Node, they just Google Node. I'll accept all your privacy annoyance. And then you do the download here and you install it that way. And that will work fine until Node starts to change and you have several projects that all depend on different versions of Node. And that's where you want to use the NVM system instead, which is a way to, I guess it's called Node Version Manager. So it will let you download multiple versions of Node and have them on your machine at the same time. And then depending on your project, you can load the Node version that your project needs. So that's pretty cool. And I think this also is part of Brew. So I think we can install NVM with Brew. So let's do NVM Homebrew. And how to install with Homebrew. Can I just do like brew? Like this wasn't easy. How do I do the brew step? Brew update. There it is. It's brew install NVM. Should I guess that? I shouldn't have needed to Google that, but So now it's fetching NVM and then it's downloading that for us. I'm just going to bump up that. So what it's saying, disable this behavior by setting no install cleanup, hide these hints, try. Okay, so please note that explicit blah, blah, blah. Okay, you should create working directory if it doesn't exist. So we need to follow kind of these things to make it work. And I had some issues here because here they're asking you to do things to the bash profile, but since the default terminal with Mac is no longer bash, it's this CSH that I think is said in a funny way. If somebody knows, let me know. So I had some issues with that when I was setting up the other computer. So let's just make this directory if it doesn't exist. And then we need NVM to be available in our terminals. And that's what we're doing by adding it to our bash profile. But we need to add it to the CSH profile. So I think if I do, so I am a front-end developer. So this is not my strong suit. I mean, LSA, which gives us everything. And then what we were changing earlier was the C profile instead of the bash profile. So if I can do a little bit of Vim. This is me flexing. So let's do C profile. If I can spell, that is C profile. So we'll open C profile in Vim and it says here it's got, and then we have to do an I for insert, and then we'll insert the stuff that NVM wanted us to insert. But I don't have that anymore because that was in a different window. So let's see. I've installed it. And then what do I do after that? Because I need the NVM version. Let's see. Troubleshooting, verifying installation, usage, deeper shell, calling NVM use automatically in the directory with an M setting. This is always hard when you're on stream. I have to talk to the princess. Yeah.
Trådene, hvor tjukk jeg får ikke perlene på.
Nei, da må vi kjøpe mindre tråd senere.
Hva skal jeg gjøre da?
Da får du finne på noe annet. She's making bracelets, and our rubber band is too thick, so that was not good. Okay, verify installation. Here we go. You can use a task. Troubleshooting Linux. Here we go. Installing and update. Running it of the above commands, download the scripts and run it. And attempts to add the source lines from the snippet below to the correct profile. Okay, so we can just run the script and then it will do those things for us and hopefully add it to the correct place. But do I have any of these files? Bash profiles, CHRS, profile, bash. Okay, let's see which ones we got. So we're just going to quit this without saving anything. What did I have? I had C profile. So I'll need to make one of these, I guess. Let's see if it can make it itself. Okay. Yes, adding NVM source strings to user array C profile, adding bash complete and source to C profile, close and reopen their terminal to start NVM. So let's do terminal again. So I just like muddled through this every time because there we go, NVM is installed. I just muddled through this every time. I did see Chris, if you go to the, if we go to the Queen site, I saw that, let's do to our site, and then we do setting up a new Mac. Chris Sev also had a good thing where he had a script that he has written that installs a lot of things for us. So it kind of like, it installs Homebrew. It does like a lot of things. It adds a lot of different things using Homebrew. So I can also recommend using this script, but I kind of wanted to have like, I like to do one thing at a time. But it also then sets your Git. So you have to remember to set these things so that it's correct for you. And then it kind of like, it does a lot of things for you. But let's keep on doing ours the more manual way. So what is another thing we need then to be able to get done? We do the CH, we have the Git, we already have installed. We have our NVM. Then we need VS Code. And I think we can install VS Code also with Homebrew. So I'll go and check this little script to see if if he's got it in here. VS Code. No, it looks like, Visual Studio Code. So let's just do brew install and see if that works. So yeah, we're doing brew install Visual Studio Code. And then obviously you can even do like Spotify. That's kind of cool. And I need Descript as well. And I need Discord, of course. I don't use the GitHub app though. I don't use Notion much anymore either. But let's just do the ones that we really need to get going with our computer. So now we have Git, we have our node. We have our Git, we have our node. Now we have our VS Code. So we should be able to start checking out some code. But I remember her having a little bit of a interesting way installation. So here, this lets you run code period from a project directory to open VS Code. So if I usually do a directory that's called do make directory develop for all of my development stuff. So there we have develop. And then I want to be able to, inside any folder here, I want to do code dot, and then it opens code. Oh, so that already exists. I don't need to do anything to make that happen. So that's cool. So let's, set up our Git credentials. So we want to config my username. So I want to do Raae. And then I'll do the one I have on GitHub, which is Raae at the Raae codes, which is kind of my open email. And then, yes, let's say it. Oh, maybe I don't have GH. No, so that might be the GitHub command that he is installing here, because GitHub has a CLI, a CLI. I know it's not called CLI, but I just say it because that's how I said it inside of my head all the years that I've, been Norwegian. So GitHub CLI. And that's a way to give you like powerful, because Git is only the version control, and then GitHub is where we host things and do our pull requests and stuff like that. So by installing this CLI, that also gives us the possibilities to do cooler stuff from the command line when it comes to GitHub. So I've forgotten all about that. It's so funny when I've been working on this other computer that you don't see, but I've been working on this other computer for so long that it's really hard to remember, what the things they're doing and the things you're not, what came with the Mac and what did not come with the Mac. So here it says that we can then set up that we want to do the Git protocol. We want everything to be SSH so that when we check out things, it's done with the SSH protocol. So yeah, create project directory called Batcave. So he obviously has a Batcave. That's much cooler than me. My project directory is called develop. And what is this? Oh my ch. Oh, I want to figure out what this is. Delightful and open source framework for CHS. See, unleash your terminal like never before. Sounds boring. Well, I'm going to do the minimum now. Okay, so we've done that. So now we should be able to check something out from GitHub. So let's do github.com/Raae or /Queen Raae. Oh, is that not correct? I thought that was correct. Let's see, GitHub. Oh, I guess I need to sign in. So this is where I remove the screen from. You can look at me in dual screen instead, and I'll sign in with 1Password. I would definitely set up 1Password on this computer, but I would not do that right now on stream because those secrets are secret. Okay, so GitHub. If you don't have a password manager, get a password manager ASAP. And you should definitely use 1Password. It's the best. And I just need to see. I'm trying not to voice these out because then I tell you my password. Oh, and then they need the authentication code. So that would be on SMS. So I have to figure that out. And then we should be ready. Okay. And there we go. So let's go back there, and then we'll go to my Queen repository. Because what I'm thinking is that we should get all the way to getting the getting our pruner follows onto the machine. So let's go to pruner follows, and then we want to download that. So you can even use the GitHub CLI. So you can do GitHub repo clone instead of just doing this command. So we can, since we downloaded the GitHub CLI, we can use that. But I haven't set up any SSH tokens. So it says here now, get started. To get started, please run gauth login. So that looks like there's a way for me to actually log in without setting up the SSH key, which is interesting. So I'm going to try that. I've never done that before. Did I not write? Oh, not auto, but auth. So I want to do that. And I want to do, what is your preferred SSH? Generate a new SSH key to add to your GitHub account. So now I'm going to remove this again in case there's some secrets that will be shown. So yes. And then I want to have a passcode for my SSH key. And then this will be my GitHub CLI, GitHub CLI MacBook Air. Because you want to make sure that all of these SSH keys that are kind of identifying, they're actually identifying the machine in addition to you. So I like to have different ones for different machines, because if you lose a machine, then you can kind of you can remove access for that one SSH key and still have everything else, all the other devices that you set up to work. So let's just log in with the browser. That's kind of interesting. They've made things are moved forward in this space. Things have very much moved forward in this space. Let's see, but it's opening in Safari, so I have to write in my thing again. Yeah, Lilian? Ja? Vent litt.
Jeg fikk den til å gå på bena mine. Var det så nydelig? På fanget. Jeg har deg. På fanget.
And then I had to sign into GitHub again, and then I had to copy a code that it gave me in the terminal, and then I had to copy that into the match the requested format. I'm copy pasting it directly from the terminal, like you wanted me to. First, copy your one-time code, yes. And then we're pasting it in. Oh, now they wanted the SMS code. Sorry, that was the wrong code. So another SMS code. And now we want to paste in the code that we got from the terminal. And then I can share my screen again. So we've done a little bit of an auth dance from the terminal to the browser and back. And now I say that, yes. So I wanted to give it access to my public keys and create guests and some other things. So I'm going to authorize GitHub. And we should be all set. And now I think it maybe have just set some SSH tokens in the background, which is kind of cool. So let's do the cloning again. And yes. And here we go. Prune your follows. And we'll do a yarn to install. Yarn is not installed. Look at that. Now we got somewhere. So we have our repository now. I'm going to do code period so that we can get in here because I kind of like this. I usually use this terminal actually, but I don't know if that's big enough. So now we want to install yarn. Did we have that in any of our little introductions here? Homebrew and GitHub. NVM yarn. No, let's see if this Chris Sev had it in his. No. So let's go over to the yarn documentation then. So getting started, installation. Core pack is enabled by default, so we should be able to do the activate. So we're on over 18. Let's see what node version we are. Node version. NVM. Oh, so we haven't installed any NVM. We haven't installed any nodes yet. So install node. So then we'll install the latest version. So that will be 19.6. So then we should be able to do yarn because we're over ATS. We should be able to do core pack, prepare yarn, stable, activate. And then let's do yarn. Preparing yarn stable for immediate. And just run the following command. It will generate some files inside your current version. So I had some problems with this earlier. The other time I did it, like this didn't work, but this worked if I chose the actual version. So let's go and do yarn latest version 3.4.1 because it doesn't seem to me like yarn is installed. Let's just open our terminal again and make sure that everything is, cleared out. So let's move into the development. I'm very inspired by Chris Sev now, who in his script creates the bat cave instead of just having like develop, which is my folder. He has the bat cave. Like, what should I call it? Like the palace, maybe something like that. That could be like, that would be fun. Maybe I'm gonna call it the palace. Anyway, that was not what we were doing. We were trying to figure out what yarn version, and yarn does not exist. So let's go back to this yarn installation. And like, I messed around with this like 2 weeks ago, and now I should have taken notes then, but now I'm not going to do it for another. My old computer is from 2016, so that's 7 years. I'm not going to do this for another 7 years. So I'll not be taking notes because it's going to be all different. So let's do this one instead, where we're defining the package version. So it was 3. The latest version of yarn is 3.4.1. So 3.4.1. Preparing yarn for immediate activation. But is it? How? Core pack isn't included. Install core pack. Well, core pack is included. Core pack is included. Updating the global yarn version. Updating to the latest version. Yarn. But we don't have a yarn command. What's up? Why is this not working? Oh. Benedict is here. That's a photo I've never seen before. Is this your private? Private account. Well, I can't remember doing enable core pack, but I guess so. No, core pack isn't included with nodes in version 16.10, but it should be. So can I check if core pack exists? Yeah, so core pack works. And we are on above 18.6. We are on 19 something. And it says preparing yarn stable for immediate activation. And then nothing happens. Missing install dips and ducks. Look at that. Oh, it's from February. It's from last year. It's exactly one year ago. I'm running, blah, blah, core pack enable, yarn installed, yes. Confused to how to make this work. Oh, so this one, core pack enable, is that what you're saying, Benedict? Yeah, same thing. Preparing for immediate activation, node version, yarn version. Okay, so yarn. Oh, we have yarn. Why is... At some point, it started working. So let's do pruner follows then, and then do yarn. There we go. Look at these like pretty outputs. That's kind of new. And I think when we've done this, we have actually gotten to a place where we can start coding and committing and all that, but we're not going to be doing that today because we're at the hour, but it looks like we made it work. Thank you for joining me in this. Like, I have been so excited about getting the new computer, but setting up the dev environment, not so much. Not so much. Oh, I'm still in dual mode. There we go. I can like, look at that. I'm bigger. And we are. And then I thought as like a final, when this is done, as a final comparison, we're going to compare, I'm going to show you my old Mac and then my new Mac and the other Mac, and you can see how all of them compare. But so far, like the speed of this MacBook Air, like I'm feeling like it's pretty snappy. I don't feel like the MacBook Pro M2 Max, M2 Pro Max, or whatever it's called. I don't feel like it's that much faster. Like, it will be interesting to see when I start streaming from this and editing videos and all of that on the MacBook Air, if that's gonna feel slower. I'm going to do some of those similar tests on the machine that I have for my client, the MacBook Pro M2 Max, and see if I can like feel any difference in like my everyday use of these machines, or if it's just going to be, you know, if you're making, I don't know, if you're building games, you know, or like making feature films, you know, maybe you'll notice more. Okay, so we're already in here now, and it looks like, I don't know, I know we can't really do yarn develop because my keys are not in there, but just let's try to see if it's actually, you know, working a little bit. Yes, so the API key is required, but we got the dev environment up. I will copy the keys from my other machine, and that means that we got all of that up. So to summarize what we did, we jumped all over the place, but I think I really liked her Cecilia's article because she has these like validation steps, but we didn't really need it in that version, like in that specific order. So another way to do it is also to use Chris Sev's script, but you have to make sure you go through and actually customize this script to your liking. But he starts by installing Brew, and then he installs a lot of these cask packages, or packages that they're called casks, I think, in Brew. And you might not need all of them, but you might need some. So you kind of just comment out what you don't need. And then you just keep on going through here and see where he has his own stuff. So here you have to change your name and your email. And then you got to change a directory to the Royal Palace, or just the Palace, I think I'm going to call mine. And then like just let it run through, and it sets up a lot of things for you. So this might be my recommended way of doing things. But now we've done it a little bit manually and had a little bit of a look. And if you want to find links to that, if you go to Queen Raae codes and then Mac, I think I have setting up a new Mac, where I haven't really documented what I've done, but I have a link both to the Chris Sev script and then also the Cecilia article about how to set it up. And you can find that there. But I think that's, oh, I was going to show you all the computers. Other than that, I think this is all we got today. So this computer is this one that I'm streaming from right now. So it's hooked up to all kinds of things, but this is my current computer. Let's see if we can get you. Well, you know what? I can film it with this computer. We're having so much fun. Okay, so my current computer. My current computer looks like that. And compared to, let's see. So compared to the MacBook Pro, like it's quite a bit larger. It's not thicker actually. I can't like close it because then the stream will end, but it's not really thicker as my old MacBook Pro. And I don't think it's that much more heavy either. Let's see. Yeah, no, the old MacBook Pro is heavier. It's heavier. But then compared to the new one that I'm doing now, the MacBook Air is like way lighter. Okay, this is weird having all of these at once. Yeah, so the new MacBook is actually a much lighter than the old one I had, and then I feel like this is a lot more lighter, and this one is absolutely thinner than all of the other ones. It's just like, look at that, so thin. It's just, and the color doesn't do it justice. It's like a little bit more of a gold. It's like a goldy silver. But I guess that's it. So we're not going to do the song because Ola's not here. But this has been another unauthorized and rum-fueled treasure hunts around the in the Sharka waters around the Jamstack Islands. I hope you find it useful to see how I just muddled through setting up my computer for development work. And that's all. Skal du komme og si ha det?
Nei.
Vi trenger ikke slutte, men kom og si ha det. Du trenger ikke legge deg.
Ha det. Men jeg ville filme degusene.
Oh, so we need to film the little animals. So we said goodbye, but we're going to film our little animals that we forgot to do today.
Og de skal gå på beina mine.
And they're going to climb on top of Lillian's legs.
De kjempesøte når de gjør det. De bare... Og så har jeg fått dem ned på fanget mitt, og det var så søtt. Og Tilly prøvde å hoppe ned på gulvet igjen.
Oh, so one of our, we have these little animals. They're called degus or degu. And one of Millie and Tilly. And Tilly tries to run away from her cave or from her
Tror du det noen som ser på nå?
det en.
Jeg har godteri I lomma foran.
Oh, and then you have candy. Okay, let's try.
Papa Rocky, hva med?
No, so yeah, Dad is still at the parent meeting.
Hvordan sier man si pappa, fy pappa på engelsk?
I don't know, Fifi. It's just
Fy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're gonna go and film. Jeg kan filme deg mens du gjør det.
Jeg stoppet den, fordi det kom liksom så mikset.
Okay, so Lillian wanted to show you the animals a little bit. So I'm just gonna...
Nå kommer da, mamma.
Ja.
Lillian bare åpner for meg. Jeg fikk knyte det der, sånn at det ikke kunne bomba.
Okay. So we're gonna show you guys the little animals. So this is Millie. The black one is Millie. And then the gray one, or the brown one, is Tilly. And now Lillian has a little bit of candy in her chest pocket. And she gets them to like climb on her. I think Tilly's gonna make a run for it. And then back in here, and then back.
Och så vänta.
Okej, men det var det lilla.
Okej. Vi har kört idag.
So that was the little post-stream show of the Degu, Millie and Tilly. Until next week, Lillian wants to wave. Come on, Lillian. Oh, she has to close up so they don't, run their little prison. Break out of their little prison. Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.